National Park Serranía Chiribiquete, the cosmic Maloka of the jaguars. Chiribiquete National Natural Park is part of the earliest formation of the continent, as its geological base is more than 1.8 billion years old. This is one of the least known and unexplored territories of the planet, and one of the oldest formations in the Americas. This place has a privileged location in the Amazon. Due to its proximity to the Andes, Guyana, and the Orinoco, Chiribiquete contributes to the maintenance of life on Earth, and in particular, the Amazonian environment. These regions make the Serranía a special place because of all the species that live there, which maximize all the natural wealth that it has. Lying at the heart of the mid-Amazon, one of the only remaining lungs of the Earth, it plays a vital role in regulating global climate and purifying water and air. The total size of the natural park is 2,780,800 hectares, and the Serranía, given its characteristics, has remained at the highest level of isolation, avoiding human colonization and transformation processes. The totality of this area is preserved and pristine, and constitutes not only the largest protected area in Colombia, but also one of the largest in the Americas. Chiribiquete has played a leading role in forming a cultural milestone in the identity and thinking of many people, because since the arrival of man in America up until today, it has been seen as an epicenter of ancient origin and sacredness. The location of this mountainous area lies between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, and is crossed through its central part by the equator, making this geological enclave a privileged place of philosophical thought and shamanistic significance. Today, it is still considered an axis mundi, or center of the world, culturally speaking. Chiribiquete is considered to be of great importance to indigenous communities who have for centuries considered the area the Maloka, or home for the jaguars. Although it is considered an area that is apparently uninhabited, it is occupied by several populations of uncontacted people living in voluntary isolation. These people are considered millenary guardians and makers of sacred rituals, as portrayed through monumental pictorial art that is maintained through a cultural tradition that is entirely unprecedented in world history. We know that many of these tribespeople made a pilgrimage from the tangled jungles of this region of the Amazon, walking for many months along trails on the ground, and following water flows that lead to the legendary rock outcrops and tepuis, or tabletop mountains, where indigenous people have, for centuries, turned these walls into a canvas on which they have painted their relationship to the cosmos. Tepuis are a window of communication between these guardians of the forest and the world. Here, their dreams are embodied, their beliefs and rituals are drawn, and messages are left concerning conservation of nature. And the jaguar, one of the largest animals of its kind in America, an icon and symbol of balance and power, and protector of the forests and their inhabitants. Hence, it is one of the protagonists of these ancient pictographs, and is represented in both the scenes depicting the heavens and the underworld. It is a supernatural being, a solar sun, and chancellor of the forces of shamanic thought. The paintings and rock art heritage that have been discovered in this national park are composed of more than 50 huge cave paintings with over 70,000 pictorial representations, which, according to multiple testing of carbon-14, are more than 20,000 years old. Based on the archaeological research of the past 30 years, it seems that this is the only place worldwide where jungle-living hunter and gatherer groups have maintained their pictorial and ancient traditions to this day. The scientific expeditions to Chiribiquete that have been carried out for 3 decades have demonstrated that within its 2,800 square kilometers can be found no less than 30% of the ecosystems of the Colombian Amazon, with 70% of its flora, as well as 30% of bat diversity and 10% of all butterflies known in Colombia. Globally, this is very important because Colombia is, for example, the highest ranking place in the Western Hemisphere for bat diversity and second in diversity of vascular plants and butterflies in the world. Colombia is among the most important countries in the world for amphibians and freshwater fish. These are 2 of the most globally threatened vertebrates, and their diversity in Chiribiquete is unique because of the high degree of endemism, comparable to the Andean highlands and probably under the same conditions of vulnerability. The National Park Service of Colombia, together with a set of government institutions working under the National Environmental System, has launched one of the most ambitious plans to defend this natural and cultural enclave. Recognizing that Chiribiquete is strategic in terms of connectivity and functionality of the Amazon and the continent. This has been demonstrated by and is in line with the way in which the area has been maintained and managed by Amazonian native groups for centuries. Today, indigenous people continue to regard this place highly in their ancestral thought, and they invite us to join them as guardians of one of the oldest natural and cultural treasures of mankind. Chiribiquete, the cosmic Maloka of the Jaguars.